Hey bees, I'm Marie from Humblebee and Me, and today we're doing part 2 of my Things I'm Learning as I Purge videos. So a bit of an update. I am, as I speak, in the middle of moving right now. So I have a new place and it's really lovely and I'm really excited about it. And I've got the new place a month before I need to be out of this place, the place where I'm currently standing right now, where I'm currently kind of living. And so I've been moving for about 2 weeks at this point in time, kind of taking a carload or two of things over to the new place every day, setting it up, scouring Kijiji and other sort of secondhand websites and things for pieces of furniture I'll need for the new place. And it's quite the process. I'm simultaneously really excited to be in this new place and sad to be leaving my current home. And as I'm packing and unpacking and setting things up, I am continuing to learn things as I continue to purge and try to carefully consider the sort of new, I've got a bit of a clean slate, and so I'm trying to take advantage of it. And so here are some of the things that I've learned in the process of starting to move and in the process of just kind of the last couple months. The first thing I feel like I should definitely point out is that it is such a privileged thing to be able to go through my things and donate perfectly functional things simply because I don't want them or don't need them in my life, is sort of based on, especially with the KonMari method, the like, does this spark joy thing? Knowing my grandparents grew up during the Depression, I can't imagine my grandmother ever getting rid of anything functional simply because it didn't sort of spark joy. And you could tell when you visited her home and went through her basement that, they would have, wheels, like single wheels that fell off of chairs because at some point in time they might be useful. So it is a very, very privileged thing for me to be able to get rid of things, especially because often the thing that I tell myself when I get rid of something is like, well, if you truly need this again in the future, you can go out and purchase it again. And so that is a very lucky place for me to be. And so I think that's really worth acknowledging. I'd been having a really hard time getting rid of creative supplies, crafting supplies, fabric and bookbinding materials and leather and all kinds of things, because I really like to create things and I tend to accumulate a lot of supplies so that, if the desire to create strikes, I am kitted out. I have it all right there. And so it's been really hard for me to get rid of those things. And I realized that they don't excite me for the most part. Going through all these massive piles of fabric, lovely, beautiful fabric that I'd purchased like a decade ago, going through them and realizing that they don't excite me. They feel more like a burden, like a giant, visible, tangible, heavy to-do list that I'd been dragging around. This to-do list for something I no longer wanted to do. And so I was keeping these things out of this sort of sense of like, oh, well, this is like a task I must complete. I must convert this fabric into a thing because, I spent money on it. So, and realizing that I didn't want to do it anymore and that I wasn't keeping this fabric for a sense of I'm excited about it, but I was keeping it because it was just like this sense of sort of like dread and obligation in my gut. Realizing that really helped me let go of it. Because when I think about the projects that I've done the last couple of years, like sewing, for instance, I think one of the last things I sewed, I made a Stitch onesie because I was Stitch from Lilo and Stitch for Halloween a couple of years ago. And of course I wasn't going back and pulling out the taffeta that I'd sort of bought in university that I was someday going to make some sort of a Regency gown out of. Like, no, I had to go to Fabricland and specifically buy a bunch of like bright blue faux fur to make this particular costume. And then I was excited about it. And I made that costume in like a week or something. When I'm excited about things, they happen quickly. And so I'm kind of thinking when it comes to supplies for creative endeavors, like I need to stop buying things because it's a good deal or because I just kind of like want to have it around just in case I decide I want to make something, because I have proven to myself that just in case very, very, very rarely happens. When I know I want to make something, I go out and I get the things and I do it. And the taffeta that I bought in 2009 stays in the drawer. So yeah, creative supplies to me when I buy them without a plan and I buy them without something I'm excited about, they just feel like a burden. So no more. That burden obligation thing, it also carries over to gifts. I have found so many gifts that I got from people, even worse if they're people that are now gone, and I never liked them. I've never used them. I've held on to them for years out of a sense of obligation, kind of guilt, because they were a present from somebody who, bought it when they were thinking of me. And now it's, been taking up places in my life, in my jewelry box, in my dresser, whatever, for years now. And I'm working on letting go of that guilt of getting rid of things, getting rid of gifts that I have never liked. I think I've still sort of acknowledge the love that was behind them, but I don't need to keep a pair of earrings that I'm never going to wear for 2 decades to show that I acknowledge that love. So yeah. I find paper to be really frustrating and really overwhelming and really annoying. And so to that end, I am really loving Evernote. And so Evernote has a wonderful digitizing document saving thing that not only you just take a picture with your phone of the document on like a table or something, and then it isolates it, crops it, rotates it, increases the contrast so that it looks good and is legible, but it also actually digitizes the content of printed documents shockingly well. So if you're searching for something like, say, your notice of assessment, even if you didn't title the document properly, it'll find those words, notice of assessment, in the picture that it took. So that's been fantastic and really, really useful. And so I've been getting rid of a lot of paper by just digitizing it, and it's wonderfully freeing. I've been noticing that a lot of the things that I'm getting rid of are things that I once really loved and that I thought I would really love and use for years, but they were really nice things. And so I would sort of say, oh, well, I can't use that now or wear that today because it's not a special enough occasion, or something to that effect. It's too nice to use. And then in the process of doing that several times, of saying, oh, I can't wear this today, I can't wear this perfume, I can't wear this shirt, I can't use that cosmetic or whatever, I would make it so precious that I ended up distancing myself from it so much that even though I probably loved that top or whatever when I purchased it, because I never let myself wear it, I don't anymore. It's just become this thing that I have no connection with and no real love for. And so that for me was quite a disappointing realization, because I realized that I had acquired many things that I loved, and then because I didn't, nurture that relationship, I didn't invite the thing into my life and use it, I no longer love it. So that's been a good reminder to me that I shouldn't buy things that I will deem to be too precious to use, because then, why bother, right? This isn't really a new realization, but just one that continues to hit home every time I travel, which is basically traveling makes it readily apparent how little I need to live and to be happy. And so it's lovely to head out to a new land on a new adventure with just a backpack, and then I find it to be really quite overwhelming to come home and to realize that, for the past 3 weeks, the 3 weeks that I was in Australia, I had 2 t-shirts and that was fine. And then to come home and realize that I have, probably at least 5 times that many t-shirts here at home, and going, oh goodness, traveling is just a really good reminder, a really good reset button, makes it easier to let go of things. And it definitely feels quite a lot heavier when I come home and realize how much I have that I really don't need. And just generally speaking, as part of the process, I'm finding it happens in waves. Some days I'll be great at getting rid of things, looking at things that and going, oh, I don't need that in my life anymore. That's not bringing anything positive to this space, to the table, to my life. And then some days I just feel blind to it all. And some days I look around and I am so overwhelmed by everything that's left to do. And then some days I feel quite on top of things. So this has been very much a very up and down kind of kind of experience. And I think, I am making progress, but oh my goodness, there's still a lot of progress to be made. I think that's it for now. Realizing that many of my creative ingredients and supplies felt like sort of burdens and obligations has been huge for me, and also kind of sad. But also I think will be ultimately quite freeing. So I think I will continue on my move. My new studio is looking really, really lovely, and I'm really excited to share that with you with a video tour when it is done. I sort of treated myself to a massive beanbag instead of getting an armchair, because 7-year-old Marie has some furniture dreams that modern day Marie would like to see realized. So that's supposed to arrive really soon, and I'm really, really excited about that. But yeah, I think there'll probably be at least one more of these videos, probably sometime after I've fully settled into my new place and have had some reflections, having sort of finished the move and consolidated all my things into a smaller space. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciated the resources and links and YouTube channels that you guys shared on the first one of these videos. So by all means, continue to share your favorite resources on like minimalism and moving and purging with me. And yeah, thanks so much, and I'll see you next time.